Fitch's and Moody's reported on South Africa's credit rating this weekend. Why have these ratings become so important to South Africa?
Well, I think, if we go back in history, back in the 1990s, early 2000s, we were doing quite well. These things essentially take a look at the level and the size and the growth of our government debt. And what's important is that if our government spends more than it earns, we need to borrow money. And we do that by selling what we call government bonds. Now, if a country has a good credit rating, then the people out there are willing to buy these bonds. If you have a bad credit rating, they're more reluctant to do so, and it's probably going to cost us more to sell these bonds. Now, right now, our government debt has risen quite substantially, and therefore, for that reason and many others, we have seen over the last couple of years a gradual downgrading of these bonds. Now, the really important point is, will our credit rating reach what is known as junk bond status? That we don't want. If you get junk bond status, that means that the world out there will be far more reluctant to buy our bonds, to lend us money. It'll be far more expensive, and then we're in serious trouble. Now, as you know, the three major credit rating agencies, Fitch's, Moody's, and Standard & Poor's, have lowered our ratings over the last couple of years, and we are now on the verge of a potential junk bond rating. In case of Standard & Poor's and Fitch, we are one notch away from junk bond. In the case of Moody's, 2 notches away.
What was their verdict and why?
Well, 2 of them did report over the weekend, Fitch's and Moody's. In both cases, they actually left our status unchanged. They did not give us that dreaded junk bond rating. Although Fitch did qualify, they kept us unchanged, but they changed their outlook from what they call stable to negative. So they didn't change the rating, but kind of giving us a warning. Moody's didn't really make a very specific announcement. They just, by implication, left our status unchanged. Now the question is, why did they not downgrade us? Thankfully, why did they not downgrade us? They looked at a whole range of factors, and when they look at the ratings, it's not just about pure economics, a whole range of factors, including the growth and the size of our government debt, the growth of the economy. They look at things such as political noise, as they call it. They look at the credibility of policymakers. So I think in essence they've given us a thumbs up for the strength of our institutions. I think they're saying, Mr. Gordon and team, you're doing a good job. Reserve Bank, you're doing a good job. The courts are doing a good job. I think they're giving us the benefit of the doubt in terms of potential economic growth. I suppose we could say that the second half of this year, the economy is not doing very well, but not as bad, not as terribly as 6 months earlier. So still in a bad condition, not quite as bad as 6 months earlier. On the more negative side, there can be little doubt that they are giving us a thumbs down, kind of a yellow card, on the basis of limited economic growth in the short run, on the basis of still having to bail out every now and again some of our state-owned enterprises, and clearly the ongoing political, almost feud between the president and some of his ministers. That's probably weighing heavily on the more negative side.
What does this verdict mean for South Africa?
Well, it means kind of a stay of execution for now. Obviously, in a few days' time, the third one, Standard & Poor's, will give their verdict. Let's assume that they will also keep things unchanged. So we managed to avoid junk bond status, but we're not out of the woods yet. At best, they'll be giving us kind of the benefit of the doubt, and then probably revisiting us in about 5 or 6 months' time, and then we start all over again and start wondering what's going to happen. We suspect that economic growth will pick up next year. We suspect that inflation will start coming down. These are good things. But what's going to happen politically, obviously your guess is as good as mine. If we were to get the dreaded junk bond status, it would naturally not only be bad for government, but also for ordinary South African consumers. We'll probably see interest rates rising, or at best not falling as quickly as we might have hoped, and it could actually plunge the economy into a recession. So we've got another 6 months for Team South Africa to get its act together and avoid once again this junk bond status.